this is a story about how this empty jar turned into this ecosystem that spread out because I want you to watch the end. So to start off, I started filling up the jar with rocks so that way it would act as a drainage layer. These rocks need to be about medium sized. As you can see, I'm presenting right here, about that size. And you need to make sure they're clean of dirt, as you can see I'm doing here. So why am I putting in these rocks? Because it'll hold up the soil and allow water to trickle through. So that way when the soil is too moisturized, water can go down into the rocks to keep it kind of like balanced. Also, when the water is too dry, then the water from the rocks will evaporate up into the soil, making it really balanced. Also, plant roots can go down here. So anyway, then I went in and collected some dirt with my dollar store shovel, which, don't ask, this is the only shovel I had at hand. So yeah, I was shoveling dirt for a while and put it into the dollar store bucket that came with this shovel. And then I found this little guy, his little millipede or centipede, I think it's a centipede. And I found this worm, which is pretty cool. These will help balance the ecosystem. So after I got all my dirt, I moved it over to the jar and started shoveling all the dirt into the jar. Yeah, so I'm not actually putting it in this much at a time, it's just because I'm holding the phone. So anyway, after I filled that all up, it looked like this, after it was all evened out. Next, I went out and grabbed some leaves, and yeah, here's some ASMR, I guess. So I realized I grabbed too many leaves, so I just put in a few of them. This would help as food for the aforementioned worms and centipedes and springtails, which are like really tiny bugs that live in the soil and can decompose stuff. I'll probably put a picture up of them when I'm editing. I use a springtail, yeah. So anyway, I went over to the moss gardens underneath my sister's playset and began getting to work. So it was really hard to get out because there's grass roots. Yeah, and this moss looks pretty cool actually. But I moved it over into the jar and completely forgot about it. And it got buried under soil later on. So yeah, but thankfully I got another piece of moss up next, which I actually did survive, so that's pretty good, I guess. Okay, so here's the second piece of grass. This one was even harder to get out because there's so many grass roots in it, but I really do like the coloration of this grass and like how it's spread out and how like the texture is. So yeah, so I moved that in, there's a shot of my hand, and pressed it down into the soil where it'll remain. The other one, again, will get buried in soil, but I'll forget to mention it or like even remember it at all while I'm building it. So yeah, that's great, I guess. Yeah, so I'm just trying to push this one down the soil as much as possible so its roots can take place in the soil and help take nutrients and water from the soil. So I moved this giant weed in and did not hurt it at all. Anyway, yeah, so I moved in and did not rip off its head so it could fit into there. That would be horrible. Whoever would do such a thing? I'm just kidding. It's just a plant. It's fine. It's fine. I also moved in this plant, which I think is a weed, mint plant, but I can't be sure. It might be a weed. It might be a mint plant. I don't know. But it did fit in the jar, so I didn't have to rip off its head. So yeah, I thought the jar was all done. I was like, yay, the jar's all done. This looks so cool. And I realized I didn't have my rock in for hardware or hardscape. And there's a shot of my hand. Okay. Yeah, so I was recording like all these shots. I thought for sure I was finally done with this entire project. I was like, yes, I'm finally done. And here's like a cool like shot of fanning out. And then I realized like while I was filming all these cool shots of like the finished project, quote unquote, I realized for one, I didn't take inside. For two, I never put something on the jar to keep the water from evaporating. For three, I never actually watered the jar. So first, I grabbed some saran wrap and cut it up, which was not annoying while holding the camera one hand. So anyway, I covered it up, and I thought it would be difficult putting on the rubber band, but it wasn't. I just kind of clawed it and like wrapped it around, which actually looked really cool. And I padded it right here for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, so next I took it inside. I probably looked really weird just carrying a dirt jar while holding my phone inside. So yeah, I bet I looked weird. There's my dog in the corner. He's really nice. Anyway, back on topic, I took the jar upstairs to my room and realized that one more thing, I forgot to water it, so I just took off everything and grabbed my spray bottle. If you don't have a spray bottle and you want to do this at home, go buy one from the dollar store. They cost like $1 because they're at the dollar store. I don't know. Yeah. or you could just water it, but that I don't know if that would work as well because the water would like hit this ground too hard. I don't know. Next, I realized I hadn't cut off this excess saran wrap, and I started cutting up on video. And I realized that would be boring, so I just decided to clip out this next part and just cut to the final project. If you like this type of video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to Homemade Ecosystems for this idea of putting stuff in a jar and growing it. See you guys in the next video. Bye.